Hey guys, look what I got. It's the UMX Stearman from E-Flight. It's, I'm not sure, it might be used, I'm not sure. I got it on eBay, but it was really cheap, and it said it was, like, practically new, so let's open it up and see what we get. I think it opens up. Trust me, it opens up somehow. Let me just find out how. Oh, like that. Like all the others. And here it is. Foam. And more foam. And then we have the plane itself. Look at this thing. Wow. We just put the landing gear in here. It's a bit of a taller plane, so the landing gear is stored outside off of the plane. Not a big deal. We just pop them in this little slot here. You can see. And we just pop them in there like so. And there's our lovely Stearman. So, man, look at this thing. It's teeny, isn't it? Let me bring it closer to the camera here so you can see it. So there it is. It's very, very small, as you can see. Let's look at the box to get some specs here, if it says specs. Just real quick, I just want to get you the dimensions while I've got the box out here. Yeah, we're looking at only 15.1 inches in wingspan, so it's quite small, and also it's very light. This thing comes out to a flying weight of 48 grams. So, I mean, it's not one of the lightest UMX planes, but for a UMX plane, it's pretty light. The Whippet's up there at 43 grams, and the Yak's 39, and so yeah, given those planes, it's a pretty light plane. I've seen this thing flying pretty slow, so I can't wait to get this in the air. But for size comparison, real quick, I've got my vapors over here. You see there's the night vapor there, and the other vapor, the original vapor, the better, normal vapor. So yeah, as you can see, size comparison, it's around the same size as a vapor, if I can make them fit here on the box. And man, beautiful, beautiful scale detail. I noticed mine does have a small dent in the foam right in the nose. I'll show you. See if you can see it. It's right in the nose there. Not a big deal, though. One thing I really like about this is that the fuselage has this sheen to it, kind of like the real one would, given the fact that I believe the nose is aluminum, but the rest cloth and dope, so it's a real scale-looking sheen of the fuselage there. It's pretty neat. I did wonder that when I was watching reviews of this thing before I bought it. I was like, is that foam or is that plastics? But, so you know, this is all foam. It's just really shiny foam. I noticed the cowling, the radial engine rather, is a little bit loose there. As you can see, I don't think that'll be an issue. The propeller's not going to strike it, but still, that's something to keep in mind. And speaking of propellers, it is just your standard little UMX prop. I think I've talked enough, though, about the plane itself. I've got my Spectrum DX8 radio here, and I've set up a file for it, so I'm going to quickly see if I can't bind this thing up. I've got a system set up here. It'll ask you, are you sure? Say yes, I'm sure. Then I'll go down to bind. Set it on bind. I'm going to move my vapors out of the way. Go over there, vapors. And we're going to open this box up again, because this plane came with a free battery and charger. And I'm going to hope the 20-degree weather has not depleted the LiPo's voltage too terribly. I hope we have at least enough voltage to activate this aircraft such that I can bind it. So I'll plug it in, and I do believe it has the AS3X system, so I'll put it upright like that, and that battery's got no voltage. No, it does have voltage. I am wrong. I am wrong. It just took a while. Usually, these planes take like 3 seconds. That took like 6 seconds. Anyway, I'm going to press bind here and see what happens. We're going to try it again. Now, one of the things that sometimes will happen with these radios is that they will sometimes not want to bind from the binding menu. What you will occasionally have to do is switch your radio off, and if you have not registered it, you will get this notification, especially if you have an account at the Spectrum website, like I do. and then you're going to want to hold your bind button, making sure your aircraft is in the bind mode, and switch your radio on, making sure all switches, trims, and sticks are in the neutral position.
Binding. DSMX 22 milliseconds. Telemetry bind complete.
And there you have it, bound. Gonna give it a second here, and oh goodness, we have control. Wow, this thing is so small and so wow. You know what I'm really surprised about is the aileron movement. Like, I didn't think it would be very proportional because these linkages that these ailerons and these UMX planes use, not very accurate. They're just a piece of bent wire, really. It's nothing fancy, just taped on there, right? But this is pretty exact. I mean, I'm going to bring this up to the camera because this really surprises me. Look, I don't know if you can see, look at how exact and proportional that aileron movement is. That's nice. And yeah, those ailerons move beautifully, guys. This is an awesome plane. One thing, however, that I'm noticing as I'm holding it, this fuselage is two distinct parts which are joined right here along the seam. And they are kind of moving about a little bit. It's not one congruent, glued piece. There is a distinctive seam, and it does shift about on that seam. So I assume were I to crash this, I would be looking at a split right down the seam. Not that it's a bad thing. The Sport Cub also had that tendency. But it's a thing. So just going to put that out there. But the rudder I like because you get a lot of rudder area, which is good because that's a really scale feature. These World War I biplanes have lots of rudder area because one of the problems with a biplane like this is with these big ailerons, you'd get a lot of adverse yaw. So going into a turn, and you'd bank up, and it would want to yaw almost like this, and so you'd need to use a lot of rudder. And the general idea was that the larger control surface you have, logically, the more deflection you get, more force you get for a minimal amount of deflection, because the more you deflect, the more your force vector is diverted from the way you actually want to push the plane. Which is why having a large surface deflected minimally is better than having a small surface deflected a lot. Less drag and more effect. So that's why I'm really pleased with the size of this rudder. I don't know if you can see here, but I mean, look at that separation. It's like, it's a big rudder. Also, the detailing and marking on this plane, awesome. It looks so scale. I flew in a full-scale Myers OTW over the summer, and so I was really getting in that mood for World War I planes, and I've been thinking about that Myers, because it was such a cool experience, and this just brings me right back to that and reminds me of what it was like to be in that aircraft, because this is an amazing job. Amazing scale detail and amazing molding of this foam. Like, I mean, this leading edge is a little bit burred. There's some little burrs on it and stuff, and it's a little bent over, but it's pretty straight. Like, compare this to the Whippet and the Sport Cub. This is a really high quality of building. And as you can see here, it's an under-cambered airfoil, so it's not the real scale airfoil. I know, what a disappointment. But that's going to give you your extra lift, extra drag to keep this thing nice and slow for indoor flying, which is what I plan to do with it. So when there's a next Armory session, Armory flying session, I will definitely have this up in the air then, and I will do my best to get some flight footage, because I think we're all done with footage of me talking about it. But yeah, great plane. I'll just stop talking about it now and stay tuned for some flight footage. Thanks for watching.